Hi, I'm Michael. I'm the project lead for HueBots.
I'm Jasmine. I am the main character designer and I do all the animations for HueBots.
I'm Tad. I'm the lead programmer and designer. HueBots is a puzzle game with a bunch of really simple game mechanics, but they're arranged in a way that make really challenging puzzles. You can click and drag from the inventory to build these little different colored robots, and then you can control them with the arrow keys. They only interact with things that match their colors, so a red robot can only open a red door, a green robot will only run into a green wall, and so on. The goal of the game is to use these different colored robots to help get your white robot to the finish.
HueBots is kind of a strange but lovable mix between Pac-Man and like the newer Candy Crushes kind of puzzles. In one sense, you're going through a maze and trying to figure your way out, but in another sense, it's not so much point A to B as much as figuring out the way to get there. So it's kind of between like a scramble game, but with more lovable characters.
We started making the game in a game jam, and we built a prototype that only featured a few of the simpler game mechanics, like the walls, the selective collisions, that kind of stuff. And then we built a few levels just to see if it was fun. Ended up being really fun, so eventually we started over in Unity, and we kind of expanded from there, adding new game mechanics, improving the feel of the game.
The animations are made fairly simply. Each of the pieces are broken apart and then they're put in a separate layer. And then for the animations, I go into Photoshop and move the pieces and then make it into, it's kind of a traditional way of using it. But then I move the pieces and then shoot it, as in like take a picture of it. And then I move the pieces again and take another picture of it. And then streamline that together with some timing cleanup, and it becomes the animation. So really, it's kind of a digital remake of traditional animation.
In order to sell our game, we're planning on a 3-step distribution process. First, we begin marketing before the game is released in order to establish a marketing presence on the internet and offline. We begin that by setting up a website with a blog in February to March to announce that our game exists, and also to gather interest among game developers and fans of indie games. We also begin speaking with our friends and family and people that we know offline during that same time in order to get word of mouth going. As we approach our release date in April, we continue releasing information on the blog about our progress with the game, and also release information on Facebook and Twitter about our progress. When April arrives, we then release the game on our website with a PayPal link, and we discuss with distributors such as Good Old Games, Desura, and Steam about selling HueBots on their sites as well. If gathering a digital distribution presence will greatly increase our exposure on the internet. And at the same time, we also can speak with our friends and family about how to market our game offline.
So at the moment, using the mechanics that we programmed, we've created almost 60 levels, which is around how many we're going to want when we release the full game. But we're also including a level editor in the game so that users can create their own levels. What we're going to do with that is we're going to provide the option for the users to upload the levels they create to the internet, and then other users can download those levels and play them and rate them and share their favorites with their friends. The goal of the game is to make the player feel smart. So we don't exactly want to tutorialize them every step of the way, because that can sometimes get frustrating for people. So instead we're trying to design the levels in a way that'll best teach the game mechanics to the player. So they kind of have to experiment, but it's much more rewarding and more fun than telling them what every single thing does.